All right, today we're going to look at solving equations with fractions. I've got just a normal equation here, but what looks different about it is I have a fraction, I've got a variable, which is not a fraction, which is all equal to a fraction. Okay, I'm going to do this in steps. There's a way we could do it all at one time, but I think it's easier to piece it down. Okay, the easiest thing to do, I've got 4/5. I'm going to change this into a whole number. Okay, if I take 4/5 and I multiply the whole thing by 5. Okay, if you remember, 5 is a fraction. It's listed as 5/1. Okay, and I think it's easier to see it written as a fraction because now it makes multiplying easier. When we multiply fractions, we multiply just the numerators and just the denominators. So 5 times 4 is going to give me 20. 1 times 5 is going to give me 5. Okay, now with our whole number here, our whole variable, we can go back and we can say, all right, x is really the same as x/1. 5 times x is 5x. 1 times 1 is 1. And because we're multiplying a positive by a positive, it's a positive. All right, then we're going to have to do the same thing on the other one. 5 times 41 is going to give me 205 over 1 times 20, which is 20. Now, it seems like I've complicated things a lot because I went from having 2 fractions to having 3 fractions. But now we can simplify. 20 over 5, or 20 divided by 5 is 4. 5x divided by 1 is 5x. And 205 divided by 20, well, we're just going to leave that as 205 divided by 20. Now, let me show you why I pieced this up. If you go back to our original problem, I had 4/5. When I multiplied everything by 5, notice those two just canceled, and I was left with just 4. So 5 times 4 divided by 5 is just going to give me 4. So the same concept will apply to this. If I multiply everything by my denominator, I'm going to put it over here this time so you can see how it cancels. 20 times 4 is 80. 20 times 5x is 105x. And then that is just going to cancel with that, leaving me with 205. Okay, from here we would do the same thing as normal when solving an equation. We would subtract 80 from both sides. Since it's positive 80, I want it to be 0 here. So I'm going to subtract 80 from 205. And I'm left with 105x equals 125. Divide everything by 105. That's going to cancel with that, leaving me x equals 125 divided by 105. If we simplify these down, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. 20 times 5 should have been 100x. I knew something looked funny there. So if we simplify that down, 125 over 100 simplified is going to give us 5/100.